You've reached the Emerald City Church. How may I help you? Oh, is that you, Kevin? I didn't think you'd be there already. So I was just going to leave a message with the priest. Oh, hey, Rufina. Yeah, I got here late this morning. How about you? When do you think you'll be getting here? I'm going to be a little late, I'm afraid. There's been an accident or something, so the train's been delayed. I probably won't be getting there until this evening now. Gotcha. I'll wait here till you arrive. I think Ries and the kids would get all bent out of shape if I showed up without you. Oh, please, I'm sure you're just exaggerating. Although, speaking of Ries, I hope you've been thinking about how you're going to cheer her up. I've got it all planned out. I've been stocking up on souvenirs from every mission I've been going on. Should be enough to snap her out of her funk. Wouldn't be so sure if I were you. Girls her age are more complex than you think. Yeah? She's not really a kid anymore now she's 13, but still. Actually, that's about how old you were when we first met, right? Now that you mention it, it was. How time flies. Sorry. Looks like the train's about ready to leave. I'm gonna have to go. I'll see you later, then, alright? If you get bored of waiting, you're welcome to go on home ahead of me, of course. Got it. See you later. Man, how time flies is right. Have I really not been home in 2 years? I guess that makes 9 since I met Rufina. I hope Ries isn't too grumpy when we finally get there. Kevin! What is it, Father? Something bad happened. Well, I just received word that someone spotted a group of men dressed in all black at the edge of town. What's worse is they're supposedly heading for the mountain path. You don't think? If they were, Master House must be their target, I fear. Do you have any idea what could be going on? I wish I did. Doubt it's anything to do with the Growl's Ritter, at least. Think I should go and check it out just in case. Please do. Oh, do you know when Rufina's going to be arriving, by the way? This evening, by the sound of it. She said her train's been delayed. When she arrives, can you let her know what had happened? Damn it. Jaegers? Seems like there's anywhere between 5 and 10 of them. What could they want with a gospel facility to begin with? The longer they're allowed to be in there, the more danger the kids are in. It wasn't a capital G gospel. I'm gonna have to try and handle this alone. It's time to put my combat skills to good use. Okay, that's the end of the flashback for now. Chapter 6, The Guardian's Trials. Celeste? Wasn't that the name we saw in those data crystals? That's right. According to those, she was the de facto leader of the group of ancients who sealed away the Aureole. She was also the founder of Liberl's current royal family. I'm glad to see the information I left behind ended up proving useful to someone. You really did? But then you're really the founder of Liberl's royal family? Not technically. I'm not the real Celeste Auslese. I think it'd be something of a shadow. You know the Persona 4 music, yes? That. Or a partial copy her personality created in order to influence Phantasma from within. How can you only be a partial copy? The truth behind you is apparently more complicated than we thought. You don't appear to be a spirit of some kind, though. I see that now. And that is correct. Before I try to explain just what I am, I should probably tell you more about what the world we are in is first. You can do that? This should be interesting. As you are aware, the land in which you stand is called Phantasma. This is a world belonging to a higher plane of existence, created several thousand years ago by the Aureole. Its purpose was to act as a subsystem for the Aureole in order to incorporate and process the will of the Liberl Arc's populace. One might call it a self-organized world designed to realize countless possible others as necessary. Jeez. Pardon? You've lost me. Yeah, isn't there a simpler way to explain this? Do you need one? Seriously, that was quite simple. Well, we're not technically correct. Perhaps you could think of it this way. Phantasma is like a fictitious realm created by the Aureole in order to fulfill humanity's every wish and desire. That's better. What exactly qualifies Phantasma as fictitious? Can't help but think it far too real to be a land of pure fantasy. When I say a fictitious world, I don't mean to suggest that Phantasma is a complete lie. It's more like a shadowgraph or kaleidoscope. It has its own laws and can change to reflect countless different possibilities. Does this make the concept any easier for you to understand? Somewhat, yes. And suddenly the name Phantasma seems that much more appropriate. As I stated previously, it was a subsystem of the Aureole rather than being the Aureole itself, and it helped to grant people's desires. Maybe. Just trying to think because again, all this started when the cube activated, when Kevin had it. But was it after when Ries showed up? Because maybe it's just his desire regarding... This is the thing, I'm going with the idea in my head of he's responsible for Rufina's death. Based on just how he's feeling about things, how things are done, the way he's been avoiding Ries, all this type of stuff. So he's got to feel guilty for that. So is it sort of because he's got this guilt inside of him, it's manifest, and this is sort of him trying to work through the guilt, or a sort of way he's being punished, because clearly everything's heading towards Gehenna, isn't it? It's what's happening, based on what Ries had said previously. It's just little snippets here and there. It's we need more information from Kevin. We need him to open up. Hopefully he will. They were separate entities, but effectively like two sides of the same coin. The relationship caught our eye as we were devising the sealing mechanism. I mean, the mechanism used to seal away the Aureole. It was also in the data crystals left behind. Exactly. At first we thought our plan would be impossible to execute. After all, the Aureole had absolute control over space itself, and was able to influence mankind's every action. Even after coming upon the idea of temporarily freezing it and imprisoning it within a gravity barrier, we had no way to implement our plans. Without that, they were simply ideas with no real meaning. We were effectively at a total loss. We had discovered your foe's weakness, but had no way to take advantage of it. It must have been quite the frustrating predicament. Indeed. And yet our perseverance rewarded us with the development of something that could take advantage of that weakness. The Recluse Cube. Is that what this is known as, then? Yes. This is the only object in existence able to interact with Phantasma without relying on the Aureole as an intermediary. I can words. So let's use that to create a partial copy of her personality, that is, me, inside Phantasma. And once inside, I began working to sabotage Phantasma's functionality by using this garden as a base of operations. As a result of my efforts, the Aureole's processing ability was hindered just long enough for the plan to be executed. He who catches his foe off guard wins the battle. The same principle applies to martial arts too. Sounds like you really put a lot of thought into planning everything. Maybe, but I can't deny that luck played a part in the end. Once the Aureole was sealed away, my work was done, and I fell into a deep sleep here. My reason being that if the Aureole were ever unsealed, I might be able to provide assistance to the people of that time. I am pleased you were able to handle it just fine without my help, however. Luck played a huge part for us, too. Not even sure where the Aureole is now. Or as we're aware, it disappeared during all that happened at the Liberl Arc. I thought as much. I was able to confirm the Aureole's disappearance from here within Phantasma too. When I did so, I thought my purpose for existing was finally over, and that all that was left for me and this land was to embrace a slow and peaceful destruction. But that was not to be. Soon the Lord of Phantasma appeared. Ah, so that's when it happened. Quite a recent development, I see. The Lord of Phantasma appeared out of nowhere, stealing all of my power before I was even aware what happened. After doing so, they began to remake Phantasma in accordance to their own design. With this world's current structure, and the planes that make it up, were all the Lord of Phantasma's creations. Looks like your theory was correct, Ren. Still, that makes it sound like... yeah... But you don't know who that masked bastard is either, then? I'm afraid not. Their every action thus far has been a mystery. The way I'm thinking it's gonna be is... because I was thinking it's just gonna be Kevin under the mask, but I'm thinking now... it's gonna be Rufina, but it's not actually gonna be Rufina. If that makes sense? It's gonna be like Rufina's body, shape, physical form, and speak as Rufina, but it's actually just gonna be Kevin's guilt over whatever happened. Ordinarily, they should not have been able to gain access to this world in the first place. I'm afraid I have no idea what they are trying to achieve by bringing all of you in here and testing you. Oh, that's a shame. Yeah, that's the part we want to know most of all. I only wish I could be of more help. Yeah, it's that question of like, why were people brought in here though? Is it the good side of Kevin? Like as if there's like two sides to him and he needs to accept his guilt. Sort of thinking persona. He needs to accept the guilt that's inside of him so he can move past it. Otherwise it's going to cause issues. Like this, strangely. So are these guys here to try and help him through it? Like he was almost like crying out, trying to grab help. But he didn't know it because it was subconscious. And it pulled these guys in as well. Why would it pull in Ren though? I don't know. The only thing I can say about them is that I suspect the Lord of Phantasma is currently in the 7th plane. There's a 7th? What makes you think that? That was the first plane they created after appearing in this world. So what kind of place that plane is, I don't know. It's gonna be Gehenna. Like the guardians of Gehenna have been here, Hades and etc. But I can sense dark and human thoughts from there. And they're spreading out across the whole of Phantasma. That doesn't sound good. Then we'll be seeing them after the next one, won't we? Yeah. We just finished the 5th when we came back here. Presuming they're waiting for us on the 7th, the time to fight them head-on may not be that far off. I was getting tired of waiting. As was I. Seems the end may finally be in sight. If only we had some sort of inkling as to what the Lord of Phantasma is trying to achieve. Actually, I just might. This is what I want answers, Kevin. Kevin? You're up. It's good to see you again, Father. You too. Wasn't expecting you of all people to get an invitation here. Or you, for that matter, little lady. I'm sure you weren't. I've got something I want to ask you. But I suppose that can wait until later. For sure. Are you sure you're feeling alright? Right as rain. I'm feeling just great. All that sleep must have done me a lot of good. And I see you guys made a whole lot of progress while I was out cold, too. Yeah. Hey, I'm Kevin Graham. You can call me Onion. Or maybe I don't need to introduce myself since you seem to know a thing or two about everyone who's come in here so far. True, I was able to tell what was happening at the Liberl Arc from the garden. And out of all the people here, you're the one closest to the truth of what is happening here. Am I wrong? What? No, I don't think you are. Can't pretend to be much of an expert on what Phantasma itself is. I've got a pretty good idea as to who's responsible for all of this. Can you think of one person twisted enough to put us through all we've been through? Yourself. Wait, is it someone you know? You could say that, yeah. Short version is, they're a real piece of work. Cunning, arrogant, cold-hearted son of a bitch who doesn't even see people as people. That about sums up who we're dealing with. Sounds like a real awful guy. Hope he doesn't have green hair. And who, may I ask, is it that you're talking about? Well, about that, would you be willing to wait just a bit longer for the answer to that one? It's you! I'm pretty sure I'm right, but still missing one last thing that'll let me be completely certain. I think we'll find out just what that is in the 6th plane. And here I thought we were finally going to get an answer. Is there a reason you can't share your theory as is? Yeah, I realize I'm asking a lot after we've come so far. But I promise that as soon as I know for sure, I'll talk. I swear on the goddess's name and on the church's emblem. Well, I don't see any reason to say no. Likewise, he's certainly got his reasons. It's not often you ask us for a favor, so I can let it slide. No problem here. If he says wait, I'll wait. Feel as though we can trust your judgment, Kevin. So I have no objections either. Me neither. I don't really care as long as I get to have my fun. I believe we're all in agreement then. Yep, consider this one settled. Thank you. Thanks, guys. Anyway, now that I'm up, I'm also down to take the lead again. And I appreciate if you backed me up. No problem. Seems like you're all ready to move on. While you're advancing through the 6th plane, I'll do all that I can on my end to find out more about the 7th. Of course, if you need my support, I'll be happy to provide it through the cube and the monuments, as I always have. Now that you mention it, I haven't really thanked you all for the help you've given us since we got here, have we? Thanks, Celeste. We couldn't have done this without you. We truly are in your debt. Please, think nothing of it. I am but a shadow placed here with a duty to fulfill. I believe helping you to be part of that duty. If I may, allow me to help you however I can. Will do. Sorry for worrying you too, Ries. But I'm just fine now. So please just leave everything to me. I'm begging you. Only if you promise me one thing. What is it? I won't make you promise not to put yourself in danger or overdo it. But don't do anything that would make Rufina sad. You really know how to hit a guy where it hurts, don't you? So, will you promise? Yeah, I promise. I swear on her name I won't. Hey, Sin was saying something kinda cool earlier. Says this place is perfect for martial arts training. Might not be into the same combat style as him, but I'm not gonna say no to a chance to get stronger. Say, you wanna join me for some sparring later, Zin? Sure thing. Zin told me this place is probably perfect for martial arts training. I'm always up for a chance to get my training on. But take advantage of it while we're still here. How is it, though? Can you explain why? Just mulling over all Celeste told us about Phantasma earlier. Strange to think we've suddenly ended up in a world that's part of a higher plane of the universe. Thinking about it, this place is probably perfect for martial arts training. How? It's like being at the top of a tall mountain isolated from the world. Yes, that's right. He introduced himself as this land of Phantasma's foremost guardian. Joshua. By the sounds of it, you've probably encountered him more times than I have, but... Yeah, I know. Gonna have to make sure I'm prepared. I have a feeling we were given Celeste's Sealing Stone to unlock in order to understand the makeup of this world. Which means that they wanted us to know and may use our memories and feelings against us in new ways as a result. Perhaps the trials ahead are the whole reason they started trying to recreate parts of Liberl here to begin with. The trials ahead are the whole reason the Lord of Phantasma started trying to recreate parts of Liberl in here to begin with. Triple dot. Oh, Ries, so how are things going between you and the others? Getting along? Yeah, we are. We had a chance to get to know one another better while we were asleep. That's good, I guess. I fully expect you to keep your promise with me, however. You dare break it. You're going without food for a week. Ouch, I'd rather you'd spare me on that one. They're much more friendly now. I think it would be best that we make sure everyone here is on guard for what the Lord of Phantasma may try to do. Perhaps I should be the one to do so. Oh, Anya, Kevin, are you feeling okay now? We don't want you to going and collapsing again after you've only just recovered. Come on, Estelle, I'm indestructible. I'm invincible. Or am I? Pretty swell timing on my part before, huh? Didn't even get to say hi before I fell unconscious, now did I? Indeed. Everyone was shaking their heads with disappointment when you collapsed. You're supposed to be a Dominion, but you wouldn't believe it from the shameful show of weakness. Pretty sure everyone was just panicking, especially you, Ries. Just try not to overdo it again, okay, Kevin? I mean, I still don't know a whole lot about what happened exactly. But we're all really worried about you. I understood the gist of what Celeste was saying, but that doesn't really explain why there are all these books here. Especially so many of them. Something's not clicking with me. Oh, look at this weird one. Weird one? What's it called? From Fat to Fit by Gilbert Stein. Ugh. These bookcases really are weird. Why are there so many books here anyway? A good chunk of them are so weird too. The more time I spend here, the more it feels like this couldn't be a collection someone had put together manually. All of the Dole Knight is on the bookshelf. Alright. This world really does make no sense. And I'm pretty sure what Celeste is saying is the truth, but it all just seems so weird. Or whatever. Guess there's no point in me worrying about it. I'll just try and help the princess here. This place seriously makes no sense to me. When are we going to be able to go home? It's almost startling how many books are here. They don't seem to be arranged in any specific order, though. But I think that there's more to this bookcase than meets the eye. There clearly is. Books here don't seem to be arranged in any specific order, which is interesting. Perhaps there's more to this bookcase than meets the eye. In the order Kevin read them? That would make sense. I never would have imagined the very ghost who aided us all this time was an ancestor of the Liberlian royal family. Still, I can hardly imagine a more reassuring revelation. I'd like to think that, with her help, we may be able to compete against the Lord of Phantasma after all. It's far too soon to be getting optimistic about our odds of success, but with Celeste's help, we may be able to compete against the Lord of Phantasma after all. Maybe. I never imagined that would be the origin of the cube we've been reliant on all this time. At least now we understand how he came to be drawn in here. To a degree. Seems like the one directly responsible for this happening was the Lord of Phantasma too. Can't wait to make them pay for what they've done. At least now we know where the recluse cube came from. We've got a relatively good idea how we all ended up here. The one responsible for that happening was no doubt the Lord of Phantasma. Wait to make them pay for what they've done. I've got lots of plushies. My room's full of them. Wish I could show you them all. So then I decided to give him a name. I raised a cat once before too, you know. Professor called him a steel cougar, if I recall. And that doesn't sound like the kind of cat I'm thinking of. What? You got that really rare Landmore limited edition plushie? Really want that one too, you're so lucky. Annalise. I think she's probably the one least bothered about what's going on here, out of all of us. I was all set on going to get that one when it came out. And this major job came in all of a sudden, I couldn't go out and buy it. Hello, Kevin. It sure seems like you've got quite a lot on your mind. I won't force you to tell us everything, but given that we've all been caught up in this, I think it's fair to expect some kind of explanation. You'll get one, I promise, if we don't mind waiting a little bit longer. I can appreciate that someone in your line of work will have plenty of things they can't speak of freely. Given that we've all been caught up in this, I think it's fair to expect some kind of explanation eventually. True. So, Father, how are you feeling now? Fine, thanks. Sorry about worrying you guys so much. Oh, don't be. I wasn't there to see you collapse, so I was simply curious how you were doing. If not, even Celeste knows how the Lord of Phantasma managed to get in here. Not sure any amount of speculating is going to let us reach the answer. I myself am but a shadow bound by the laws of Phantasma. As such, I'm afraid I'm limited in what I can do. But I'll be sure to do all I can to support you in your efforts. I too am bound by the laws of Phantasma, so I am limited in what I can do to support you. But know that I will do so in every way that I can. If there's anything I can do to assist you, please let me know. And that's where we're going to be ending this part. In the next part, you know what we're going to do. You know what we're going to do. Where is it? What kind of door was it? Is it moon door 4? No. Is it a star door? So is it star door 8? Yes, bring to me the playful minstrel and his closest ally against the beast they seek to overcome. Only then shall the door open. I can't wait for that one. We'll see you in the next part. Ta-ta for now.